Did God choose Donald Trump to lead America? It's a question that has divided the nation. Some believe Trump's presidency was divinely ordained. Others see it as a dangerous departure from American values. This question has ignited passionate debates. It has challenged our understanding of faith and politics. The idea of a leader chosen by God is not new. Throughout history, rulers have claimed divine right. This belief grants them absolute authority. But in modern democracies, the question is more complex. Can a leader be both democratically elected and divinely ordained? The debate over Trump's presidency goes beyond typical political disagreements. It strikes at the heart of how we view the role of religion in public life. It raises profound questions about the nature of God's will and the meaning of America's destiny. In this exploration, we will delve into the controversy surrounding Donald Trump's presidency and its perceived divine ordination. We will examine the arguments, the beliefs, and the impact of this contentious issue on American society. Join us as we navigate this complex and deeply personal topic. The concept of divine ordination is deeply rooted in religious tradition. It suggests that God chooses certain individuals for specific purposes. This applies to religious leaders like priests and pastors, but it can also extend to secular roles, including political leadership. Throughout history, kings and emperors claimed to rule by divine right. Their authority was seen as absolute and unquestionable. This belief often served to legitimize their power. It also silenced dissent. In the context of modern democracies, the idea of divine ordination is more nuanced. Citizens elect their leaders. However, some believe God can still work through those elected officials. This belief suggests that God can guide and direct their actions. This raises complex questions about free will and human agency. If a leader is believed to be divinely ordained, are their actions beyond scrutiny? Does it make opposing their policies equivalent to defying God's will? These are just some of the challenges this belief presents. The question of Donald Trump's divine ordination has been particularly divisive in America. His presidency has been met with both fervent support and fierce opposition. Some see him as a flawed but chosen instrument of God. They believe he was sent to restore America's greatness. Others view this belief as not only misguided but dangerous. They argue that it undermines democratic principles and justifies harmful policies. They point to Trump's rhetoric and actions as evidence against any divine mandate. This controversy has played out in churches, on social media, and even within families. It has strained relationships and fueled political polarization. The deep emotions on both sides highlight the significance of this belief. It also underscores the challenges of reconciling faith and politics in a pluralistic society. The Trump presidency has become a crucible for examining the role of religion in public life. It has forced Americans to confront fundamental questions about their values, their beliefs, and the future of their nation. The evangelical community has been particularly vocal in its support for Donald Trump. Many prominent evangelical leaders have embraced the idea of his divine ordination. They cite his policies on issues like unaliving fetus and religious freedom as evidence of God's favor. This alliance between Trump and evangelicals has been a source of both intrigue and concern. Critics argue that it represents a transactional relationship. They believe evangelicals are willing to overlook Trump's personal failings in exchange for political power. Supporters counter that Trump is an imperfect vessel chosen by God for a specific time and purpose. They point to his unexpected victory in the 2016 election as a sign of divine intervention. This alliance has reshaped the political landscape. It has given evangelicals a powerful voice in Washington. It has also raised concerns about the separation of church and state. It has led some to question whether the evangelical movement has become too intertwined with partisan politics. God's plan or human choice? The debate rages on. The debate over Donald Trump's divine ordination is about God's will and human agency. Do we have free will, or are our lives predetermined by a higher power? Some see his presidency as part of a cosmic battle between good and evil. Opponents argue it's dangerous to attribute human actions to God's will. We must hold our leaders accountable for their choices. This debate requires grappling with complex questions. Section 6, Signs from Above, Interpreting the Trump Presidency. Those who believe in Donald Trump's divine ordination often point to specific events or policies as evidence of God's favor. They see his election victory as a miraculous upset, orchestrated by divine intervention. They view his appointment of conservative judges as a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. They interpret his economic policies as a sign of God's blessing on America. They believe his strong stance against America's adversaries is a reflection of his God-given courage. These interpretations are often rooted in a particular reading of Scripture and a belief in the power of prayer to influence political outcomes. They see Trump's presidency as a sign that God is at work in America, bringing about his divine plan. However, critics argue that these interpretations are selective and self-serving. They point to other aspects of Trump's presidency that contradict the idea of divine favor. They question whether it is appropriate to use religion to justify political actions. Section 7, The Other Side, Voices of Dissent and Disbelief. While the belief in Donald Trump's divine ordination has gained significant traction among some segments of the population, it is essential to acknowledge the substantial opposition and dissent it has also generated. Many Americans, including those from various religious backgrounds, vehemently reject this notion. They argue that attributing Trump's presidency to God's will is not only theologically flawed, but also morally problematic. They point to his policies, which they believe have caused harm and division, as evidence against any divine endorsement. These critics often cite Trump's rhetoric, which they deem divisive, inflammatory, and inconsistent with the values of compassion and humility taught by many religions. They believe that true leadership should be characterized by empathy, justice, and a commitment to the common good, qualities they argue are absent in Trump's presidency. The voices of dissent and disbelief represent a crucial counterpoint to the narrative of divine ordination. They highlight the importance of critical thinking, ethical considerations, and the separation of church and state in a democratic society. Section 8. A Nation Divided, The Impact on American Society. The belief in Donald Trump's divine ordination has had a profound impact on American society, exacerbating existing divisions and creating new fault lines. It has deepened the polarization between those who support Trump and those who oppose him, making it increasingly difficult to find common ground. This belief has also fueled tensions between different religious groups, particularly between white evangelicals, who have largely embraced Trump, and other Christian denominations, as well as people of other faiths or no faith at all, who often view Trump's presidency with alarm. The controversy surrounding Trump's perceived divine mandate has spilled over into everyday life, straining relationships between family members, friends, and colleagues who hold opposing views. It has created a climate of mistrust and suspicion, making it challenging to engage in civil discourse about politics and religion. The impact of this belief on American society underscores the importance of promoting understanding, tolerance, and respect for diverse perspectives. It highlights the need for constructive dialogue that bridges divides and seeks common ground. Section 9. Beyond Trump, the Future of Religion and Politics. The debate over Donald Trump's divine ordination reflects a broader trend of religion in American politics. This raises questions about the future relationship between faith and politics. As the U.S. becomes more diverse, with many identifying as secular, it's crucial to navigate religion in public life, respecting all beliefs. This means upholding the separation of church and state, and ensuring public policy is based on shared values and evidence, not religious dogma. The Trump presidency sparks reflection on religion's role in society, aiming for unity and inspiration. Section 10. Finding Common Ground, A Call for Understanding. The debate over Donald Trump's divine ordination has exposed deep divisions within American society, but it has also created an opportunity for meaningful dialogue and reflection. While we may disagree on whether or not God chose Trump to be president, we can all agree on the importance of respecting one another's beliefs and engaging in civil discourse. Instead of demonizing those who hold different views, we should strive to understand their perspectives, even if we ultimately disagree with them. We can start by listening to one another with empathy and humility, acknowledging that everyone's beliefs are shaped by their own unique experiences and perspectives. It's also crucial to remember that our shared humanity transcends our political and religious differences. We all want what's best for our country and our families, even if we disagree on how to achieve those goals. By focusing on our shared values and aspirations, we can build bridges of understanding and work together to address the challenges facing our nation. Section 11, the final word. Your verdict on Trump and divine ordination. The question of whether or not Donald Trump's presidency was divinely ordained is ultimately a matter of personal belief. There is no definitive answer that will satisfy everyone. However, the debate itself raises important questions about the role of faith in public life, the nature of political leadership, and the meaning of America's destiny. As you reflect on the arguments presented, consider your own beliefs about the relationship between God and government. Do you believe that God intervenes in human affairs, particularly in the realm of politics? If so, how do you reconcile that belief with the principles of democracy and free will? Ultimately, the answer to the question of Trump's divine ordination lies within each of us. It requires grappling with complex theological and philosophical concepts, examining our own biases, and engaging in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views. The journey of exploration and discernment is ongoing,